Hello and welcome, one and all, but mostly one to one night onely. And because I like saying it clearly, one. Guys, this is the show where we take actors, writers, producers, game makers, and otherwise talented human beings, force them to sit down and talk to you, our wonderful community. I'm Amy Vorpahl, I'm your host for tonight, and I am wearing more sequins than I've ever worn in my entire life. Happy to be it. Thank you very much. Yes, please laugh, or else I feel like I'm talking into a void, which I'm not on this show, so you can't do to me, Ivan. Folks, if you are just randomly popping into Alpha being like, hey, what's going on Alpha? What is going on Alpha? Something's going on. Then I want to tell you tonight, you are in for a treat. Later in the year, last year, Sagas of Sundry Season 2 madness dropped, and piles and stacks of you tuned in to watch all 8 episodes. This is what I like to call it a half RPG, half Jeff Probst style reality challenge show, focusing mainly on the story and acting. It bonded our friends that played strangers over their shared experience with their apartment buildings, their neuroses and issues, and most of all, their need for survival. Role players that you know and love were ultimately transformed. Friendships were made and lost, and Ivan Van Norman turned into literal nightmare fuel. So it is my pleasure to announce that tonight we get to talk to these wonderfully talented people who are involved with every step of the process. You get to ask your questions, and we get to have fun. Mainly, there shouldn't be any madness, but in case there is, I don't know, buckle up, hold on to your butts and all that stuff. For now, welcome to One Night Only, Sagas of Sundry Madness. Everybody. Again, I'm Amy Vorpahl, and I'm happy to introduce you to the first part of the show, which is the time when we get to interview the crew, is what we're calling it, basically the backbone of why the show even exists. So hold your applause for the end. I want to go through and tell you who we're meeting tonight. So first off, we have Brad Bailey, the production and art designer. Then we have Denise Pantoja, the producer of the series, Adam Lawson, our director, and Ivan Van Norman, the storyteller slash creative director slash a lot of other things that none of you would ever know, so we picked a hyphenate before the show, and it's Sparkle Happy Bunny Friend. And we're sticking with it.
And he's quite good at that.
Yeah,
the sparkling part and the bunny part.
Yeah, I think so. It should be on your resume if it's not. So first of all, I want to ask all of you, feel free to tell me, well, maybe we'll just go down the line, but how did you get involved? I know we have some new faces, we have some faces from season 1, but how did you get involved?
I actually got involved with actually by Denise and TJ.
Oh, yeah?
Because we had done Ask You About Geek first, right? Yeah, and then this came up, and then we jumped on it and just ran with it from there.
And you designed other things for Geek and Sundry as well, right?
Yeah, Ask You About Geek Friend, Madness, One Night Only, Thrashtopia, Painters Guild, Starter Kit.
Heard of it?
And so that we know, Brad killed himself making this one in particular.
Yeah, it was a rough one.
There was a lot of
all-nighters.
This guy I can't say thank you enough to. He
thank you,
did some
man.
good stuff.
There was some stories about me walking into the back and Brad sleeping in his van in between build sessions so that he could make the deadline that we imposed on him.
It was actually TJ's van.
TJ's van.
And the hallway and the closet and wherever else was flat and dark.
Is TJ's Van the next series that we're doing on Geek and Sundry?
It is.
TJ's Van.
TJ's van. Let's do the horrors of TJ's van.
You can't believe you just dropped that season 3 hint right there, Amy. That was totally out of line. Totally out of line.
The pizza monster's coming for you. Well, thank you, Brad. Denise, how did you find yourself involved?
Well, I was actually brought in by TJ Rotel, who is head
I've
of
heard
production.
of him, yeah. He's got a van, apparently.
Yeah, he's the van owner, but he's also head of production over at Geek and Sundry. And I was originally brought out to produce Thrashtopia, which we started in August. And unfortunately, the previous producer for Sagas of Sundry, Tracy King, did a great job on the first season, but she was booked for something else. I was going to help her out on that, but I ended up just jumping into that role and running with it. And yeah, we tried not to kill Brad, but we came close a couple of times.
Tried not to kill me too.
Adam, I know you're a diehard fan. Did you just send in your fan mail and say, please?
That's what it was. I sent in a YouTube link of here's my ideas, and Ivan and Sean said, that's it. That's it. We've got you in. No, I mean, I have been with the Geek and Sundry family for forever. From season 1 of Tabletop, back in the day, it was Will and I conceiving the format for the show back before it was in fact, it was a thing. And I've done all those seasons and Spellslingers and Force Grey and Hearthstone and a lot here at this place, and I love it. And this is season 2 for me, and Ivan and I have the very best of time doing it. So that's how I get in.
Yeah.
Really, I was like, Adam, I need you.
Yes.
I'm doing the show. I have no idea what I'm doing. Come bail me out. And he made it amazing. So
And that's in reference to season 1, right?
Season 1, right?
Yeah.
And then season 2, it was excruciatingly clear that we couldn't have another show without Lawson bringing to it. I mean, come on, I could do it. But no.
No, I agree that after season 1, it was very apparent that this is the team.
No, Adam
This is the
literally
team.
brings a expertise, skill, and look to the season and the entire Sagas of Sundry that it would be impossible to replicate without his ability to be able to bring his awesome team, and more definitely, like, this man cracks the whip like nobody cracks the whip when it comes to making sure that a story is being delivered in the way that it should be done. So, no. I mean, everyone celebrates the storyteller as far as bringing the story goes, but it would not be Sagas of Sundry without Adam. So, yeah, seriously.
Very, very nice. I also love that while we were showing the intro, you guys still had more comments about it and the kind of notes you were giving each other. Like, it just doesn't stop. It just doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop.
You're like, oh, can we make this 1%, even 1% better?
And I was telling him that I was initially very worried about some of the props that we had for this season, that they weren't as visually whiz-bang, crack-a-boom-doom as they were for season 1, but how he was able to utilize mostly the notes, that a lot of the stuff that I wrote like the day before shooting really looked like it had an institutionalized look that really made
the notes that the Guardian had made or
Yes.
kept on each of the characters.
Yeah, the notes of the Guardian had made
They're in your
explicitly-
handwriting?
They're in my handwriting,
Classic.
my terrible handwriting. That ended up being like the thing that really made it look, thankfully my handwriting is terrifying.
Yeah,
you know?
agree.
So, I'm sorry, did I answer my question at all?
Well, I think I know the answer. Is that how you came into this? Is that you've been prepping for this your entire life? This is kind of where
came up with the show.
You were always meant to be. Yeah, you're part of the Geek and Sundry family, and
Right.
you've been doing this kind of shit forever. Great. Brad, I actually do have a question for you.
what's up?
So you're coming into this kind of, obviously with a big old background in set design and art design. You do have something to live up to, though, with Dread as its own little manifesto of art too. So how does that fly, and how much influence did you have versus how much did Adam and Ivan talk to you and tell you what to do?
Well, when we initially talked about it, I think the layout was already set. Like the layout for the hotel was set, and then we started talking about it. And I think me and Adam actually had the same ideas about the whole thing. Because as soon as I heard about it, I was like, okay, this is Tower of Terror and American Horror Story Hotel in my head.
Yeah.
And then we started pulling reference photos, and we actually ended up pulling some of the same reference photos. So we were pretty much on the same page.
Pretty great. I mean,
But
for sure.
it was great.
That
with
day, the Google lords were like, "What is going on? Why is everyone typing in creepy building?"
What was fun for me with this one, as opposed to the first season, was being able to take it into multiple spaces, and actually getting into more dimension in this environment that the people were in. So that was really fun, being able to okay, how do we utilize all this space, and what kind of fun stuff can we put into it, given the time and budget we had to do it with, which is pretty short, because I think we had about 3.5 or 4 days to do that whole set. So it was.
So that's why you're sleeping in a van the day before.
And the floor and bathroom and everywhere.
And that was the big thing that we wanted to do. Adam and I explicitly said, okay, this season we did great with the campfire set, which we did for Dread, but how can we take this season and put it into different locations, and then of course make it affordable?
Yeah, because I think all of us had ideas of we could have spent $500,000 on that without question, super quick if we wanted to. Yeah.
No.
If we had the money, we could have spent it. Well,
I think also too the what's fun about the show is that it's an opportunity to tell a story, but the people who are in the story don't know the story they're a part of as it unfolds for them. And I think what we wanted to do, as Ivan and I were talking about, as I said, Ivan, it's one thing for you to tell them the story. It's another thing for them to find it hidden in a booklet, or them to actually lift the couch up and look underneath it and find the piece.
Or bust through a fucking wall and find a whole other set. I was like, no, don't do that. That Denise is probably like, that's a lot of money. Oh, don't bust the wall. And then I was like, oh no, obviously that was supposed to happen.
We were so proud of that moment, because I legitimately remember being in the creative room at that and being like, is that something we can do? And I think I remember looking around and being like,
yes.
Can I have them go through the wall, because I want them to go through the wall? And Brad's like, no, it should be pretty easy. Yeah. And then we made it. It worked.
The hardest part was actually keeping them from finding that set while we were shooting.
But I talked to the cast, and you can ask them afterwards, but nobody knew.
Sweet.
Nobody had any idea, and we hit it very well.
Yeah.
So that I had to get into it, and we'll get into this moment earlier, but I remember Erica Ishii, who was holding the sledgehammer.
Yes.
Very proudly.
Yeah.
Very proudly holding that
She
sledgehammer.
was built to hold that sledgehammer.
And I remember them in the episode, because again, Adam brings up a great point. A lot of shows, a lot of RPG shows, or a lot of just theater shows, they all have lines that they have to memorize. All of this is happening on the fly. And I remember her putting her hand against the wall, and I'm describing this hollow sensation to them as they're going into it. And I'm like, I'm giving them the information they need in order to make a choice. And they're going into it, and she's tapping on the wall. And I remember Erica looking at me, being kind of like, "Can I do this?" I'm like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, it seemed like a liability from the minute I saw it.
But no, Brad made it perfect.
Absolutely.
And it was,
Absolutely.
and I didn't even have the
I know.
opportunity. I didn't know because I investigated the room just to check it a few times. But the green light piercing through the wall as they started to break it was the most satisfying thing to see on that set.
Yeah, and as a producer, Denise, I mean, you're being given secrets, just objects, and where do you come in where it's like, yes, we can do that. No, again, like you just said, no, that's too expensive. How do you wrangle the madness that is madness?
It is a constant struggle as a producer, to be quite honest. I mean, you have two minds like Adam and Ivan's put together in one show. And what you really always want your creatives to do is to reach for the stars, because it's easier to pull back than add things.
Yeah.
And then you go within the budget and you talk about what is feasible, what is safe, and you just work with it, because in the end, all you want is an excellent product. Mm-hmm. So you try to make it happen. You really do. And I come from a more indie background, so I actually stepped in and ran wardrobe and things like that because
That's right. I didn't know that literally until today, that
really?
you were in charge of wardrobe.
yeah, I mean, I got
Speaking of hyphenates, that's two crazy jobs.
I got some really great direction from Adam, and then I just went out and I actually shopped and tried to put what I could together, very much as much in line as I could with what he wanted to see with the time we had too, because it actually ended up. You guys didn't have very long for the first season, like to get it all done, and through all the planning and the story building, we actually ended up with a pretty short amount of time to put it all together too. So since I come from that indie background, I am really willing to jump in and take care of those things so that we can make it all happen. You save, what money you can there by picking up different jobs.
I have a story about Denise hanging out with me at the Men's Warehouse trying to pick out the Madness suits.
Okay.
And which I got there early because we're like, okay, we need to find this whatever I'm going to wear for the show. And I'm picking everything out and putting it together. I'm like, Denise, this looks really good. Let's do this. It costs this much. And she's like,
Yeah.
And of course, at the same time, my toddler's running around causing hell inside of the Men's Warehouse all at the same time. And we I think we spent like an hour and a half there trying to figure it out.
Yeah, because of course I am like, look, can we do it cheaper? That's really kind of the first question that pops out as a producer. You're like, yeah, this is great. Can we get it cheaper?
Yes.
Or cheaply? And we did. We went through a bunch of stuff, but it was such a
found it.
star. I mean, I was like, damn it, Ivan's been there for half an hour. This is bad news. He's going to find something really good, and I'm going to have to tell him no.
Yeah.
He's a character. It was such a star piece that we really had to work it out and make it happen.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I was trying to goodwill it, but in the end,
Oh, we tried. And we did. And we went to lots of different thrift stores to see if we could find like discount anything that would make it work. And there is a chance that always works, but we were just in a position where it didn't work this time around
Right.
because I've had a lot of nice looking suits that I've gotten at Goodwill. But that one just wasn't going to fly.
I mean, just you found the perfect one. You really did.
Right.
I agree. I got a lot of screen time too. The next question I want to ask you guys is this entire series is based on mystery and solving it, and so there are secrets and mysteries that all four of you knew, you had to know ahead of time. How did you keep it from the actors? One, I mean that room for one, and then two, did anything unexpected happen where you had to pivot on the day?
Yeah, back to the wall.
Sure, I'd love to talk about the wall.
It was pre-scored and set up to
Yep.
break through a certain way
Cool.
and to come down into the tiles. And you can't tell them you can break through this wall. We can't say, okay, do this and pregame them on it.
Yeah.
So like they started breaking through it, and then they started trying to go through it a little early, like where they were just kind of trying to pounce off on drywall. And so me in the back was just like, no.
Oh, with their hands.
They're already through the wall at this point. It's like, take it down more. But
Right, yeah, because they had
Yeah,
because
little
they
stuff
were
like that was
along
hard.
because there is a very explicit frame, a reinforced frame
Sure.
Yeah.
that they could bust through, and so there was a time in which they're hitting it and they're starting to like stray over towards the right outside of the frame,
Yeah.
and we had
Yeah,
to say,
yeah.
hey,
just had to
okay,
guide
guys.
them a bit.
And then I think at one point too there was a safety issue in which they had busted through and they were trying to
Yeah.
come out through it early, but there wasn't a strong enough foothold.
Yes, the
They had to
foothold.
put
I
their-
was like, oh my
So when I think it was Liam was the first one through, we had to be like, Liam,
Oh, I remember in the freaking show, his arms go up on the other side of the wall as if he's going to do a pull up and like launch himself into the room. What an idiot! Like, I remember watching that. Like, what does he think he's
But
doing?
we had to kind of after the like secret had been revealed, we had to kind of tell him where the parameters of the frames
you
were
did.
so that he could get through it.
We
'Cause otherwise-
readjusted for safety.
Yeah, we just did for safety.
Number one concern.
So and there was a lot of like Marisha was in the cast and she is the creative director of Geek and Sundry
Right.
and she was very influential in Dread. right?
Yes,
So
she sure was.
she
Did she try to sneak in on those meetings? Like,
well, I don't think you can ask her when she comes out here. But that was actually the toughest part because I really enjoyed having Marisha's voice during Dread and not having her for Madness and basically having to lock her in a kennel and say no for the entire season was a little tough.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was very satisfying to kind of see what she came up with, and she still had really strong opinions about like the themes that she wanted to explore in Madness.
Yeah.
And we came to the right conclusions together, and it was very lovely because we actually had a little bit, and I hope she doesn't mind I'm saying this while she's not in the room. I'm sure she's around somewhere. But it's like we originally had a little bit of a clash of like having it be set in the 1930s. Like not just a 1930s apartment,
right.
but like actually have it take place in the 1930s.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, that does sound really cool.
And a little
The
expensive.
secret, though, of the show is that
Yeah.
is that we don't actually take the actors and put them in an arena that they don't personally know.
Yes.
The success of it is because the cast knows what the 90s is. They lived in it for part of their life. And as a result, they aren't like faux acting where they're like, oh, in the 30s, how would I be in the 30s? They don't know how they'd be in the 30s because they never lived there.
Sure.
And now it gets into this LARPing effect versus this is just my own wheelhouse. I'm not inventing an imaginary era.
Right.
I'm living in my own experiences.
And with the time frame that we had, having them, because a lot of people who usually do that kind of period acting, they have 6 months to research. We didn't have that time.
Right,
You know,
right.
and so having them have to not have a filter to go through would add milliseconds of reaction time, which for me is extremely important when you're reacting on set. Like having them go from the gut and feel something versus having to have to put that through a 1930s filter was so incredibly important.
Yeah.
So
That makes
you
a
know.
lot of sense. Adam, I remember from Dread that you had a key part in what we saw on the camera. That obviously that's your job, but you would do maybe 5 words of coaching in even like, okay, we're resetting this up. You feel like this. Isn't that great? And like your eyes light up, and I can't believe you sustain it all day. But like, what goes in your mind when you're like, oh, this is what we need to show the audience, this moment? How do you know in the moment what that is? Because again, it's all improvised. You didn't really prep that this confusion and this character had this, backstory that it ties in perfectly right here.
I think it comes from 2 parts. One is that Ivan and I have gone through the story in intimate detail of where it's going to go and what we want to craft with it. And then, I'm watching it through all 6 of the cameras at the same time, and as you're seeing it, you're writing you're writing the TV show in your mind, right? And so as a character completes an arc or a statement, you're mapping the show kind of because you already had the box built, you knew where it was going, and then now you're painting it as you guys begin to talk. The talent begin to talk, and as Ivan brings up things and he pushes them places, and so I feel like, that aspect of it comes from being fully prepared in it and then fully present when it's going on, right? And
So you're already editing it in your head as it's going.
that's right. It's got to be because I got to see. Okay, this is the story, and lots of times Ivan and I powwow in between the episodes, and sometimes during the episode, how can we shape it a direction, right? Like it's going somewhere, but we need it to shape and curve, or we need a climax to bump up. And Ivan's very good about sensing that real time when, something is building, let me escalate it, so that way the show can move like television versus just like people playing a game.
Right. Okay. Awesome. That makes a lot of sense. On that note, I also had what are the breaks like? Because I remember breaks being kind of a weird part of the day, where everyone knew that the episode was broken, but we all were continuing to shoot throughout the day. And you can see at the beginning of at least the first 4 episodes, a little bit of nervous energy where everyone had done a little bit of a reset, like, okay, we're back and things aren't as bad as we left them off, and then immediately they get they get sledgehammered in the head.
And
but what were
actually
breaks like?
pacing on this one on Madness was a little more challenging than it was on Dread. Dread because it was only one day, Like it was very clear where the climax of each episode was. Madness, there was a couple of times in which we could have interpreted a break, and then Adam and I, thankfully, like he had mentioned, we're both usually pretty in sync about how pacing is going through the game. But we knew on this one, I think it was between episodes 4, 5, and 6. It was like, okay, well, there's a couple places that this could go at, so let's just write it and see what happens. And it was literally the only time in the series in which I felt like we'll fix it in post. You know, we'll see where it feels good at in order to kind of find out where the place it needs to be. You know,
And then because of that process, like this series didn't start out as 8 episodes. It became that once I sat down and I looked and I was going over the edits and I was going through the cut and I was like, we have this odd double climax in episode 1. I can make 2 episodes out of this actually, and because I'm essentially finding the point of climax and going backwards until I hit the one right before it, and so I think that's part of the magic of the show is that it writes itself in front of you.
And so to Adam's point, we were literally Madness when we were first shooting it. The prologue and the first the what I call the rooftop party scene was supposed to be the first episode. Like
where they were alone. Remember, they had their single adventures.
Yes.
And then they got together on the roof. Yeah. The single adventures and the roof was going to be
the first episode originally, like just to kind of like get the prologue through and then start them off to kind of get into it. But we got so much with the prologue, and there was such a great arc that happened.
It was nice having it separate.
Yeah, it was very nice having it separate, and we were obviously delighted that we had enough that we could make it like a clean break to make that prologue, give it like the full punch of being able to deliver all of that in a single episode.
That's amazing. Brad, you're as a production designer, your design for the windows made it onto the shirt. Congratulations.
The door windows.
Oh, the door. I'm sorry. Yes, the door. So that's so effing cool.
I'm pretty stoked on that.
Yeah, that's really cool. I don't know if any of you see this design. Anyway, yeah, there you go. The door design is now the shirt, the insignia for the actual show. If you're going through a rewatch, are there any Easter eggs or other things that like you put a certain Brad touch on that we should look out for?
Oh, in the show?
Yeah. That set you designed?
There, like Easter eggs. I think I slid a couple little pieces of stuff I put into like all shows. Like in random bits of junk, I will always put my old cat's collar in a show. So if I have like a bunch of stuff in a garage or anything like that.
Is the cat alive?
No, he died last year. It was when we were on another show. But
sorry.
yeah, I usually will slide that in every now and then, or just like
That is so creepy.
or just little.
I highly approve.
Or sweet. It's sweet.
Yeah, it's sweet.
Okay.
Or just like little random fun phrases if there's a lot of like random writing and stuff. I think I slid a few of those into the architect's room. I did. I did slide that into some dust on a table
What
in
is
the
that?
architect's
What
room.
is that? What did you
It's the
slide
little,
into the dust
little
on the
skull guy? It's if you ever watch Thrashtopia, over by your command center, there's a little skull mohawky guy. And I slid that into some dust in there. I like dropping little Easter eggs if I
do
can,
remember-
but
I
usually I
do-
didn't slide too many in this one because some of them are too obvious.
Yeah.
I do remember you when you built Emmett's bathroom.
Yeah.
There was a lot of elements in there. Like I remember you and Denise having to find that freaking claw tub.
That
and you
thing
were
weighs
so
a ton.
excited.
Like so much. We gave it to the studio, didn't we?
Yes. Thank you, Craigslist.
Wow.
Because I didn't think I was going to be able to find that, and it was it was because it's such a specific look, clawfoot tubs, and yeah, oh my gosh, it was super heavy, but yes,
But it needed that, it needed that
yeah.
so that when our actress, when she came out of the bathtub and then when Liam was lying in it, it had that old, heavy, dusty, rugged, messy weight to it. So thank you for doing that, by the way.
Yeah.
oh, you're very welcome.
It's the architect's bathroom. It's the only addition to the thing in which MAM the original architect of the studio, that was the only edition that was ever made because he wanted to hide the architect's room. That's the whole point of building the false wall. So being able to make that articulate bathroom, it had to be dated. And more importantly, he would not want to do anything to change it. That's what's the most important, to be no renovations to that, because never want to touch it, never want to even insinuate that there's anything on the other side of that wall.
Another good find from Dee is that she's actually the one that found the fuses.
Oh.
That was a hunt, and then Dee scored those pretty hard. And I was like, yes, those are perfect.
And that poor amulet.
Yeah. Oh, that thing was too nice to smash. She was
So upset.
she was like,
I was like, oh my God, I even know why.
Yeah, y'all are the smashing show.
It was an antique.
It was a literal antique.
It was like
Thank you, eBay.
Was it from the 70s or the 60s?
You know what? I'm not sure what decade it was from, but it was definitely labeled antique. And it was just this beautiful, and we were going to try to work it into the story, but we weren't able to. It actually opened up.
Yeah.
It was like a little box almost. So the beautiful part was the cover.
Yeah.
And we were going to try and get it,
We were going to put a note into it somewhere, but
Yeah,
the
we
back
were trying
kept
to get it
falling off.
monogrammed, yeah.
And there was no way to be able to make it so that it could be organic, to be able to
Yeah.
find a discovery on it, because the back just kept popping off
Right.
so easily. So things you don't know.
Well, one last question before we bring out the actors who got to play in your world. Whose effed up idea was it for Jenga Tower number 2?
that one.
Okay.
Of course. Sorry.
When he brought that up, he should have had a monocle just twisting a mustache. He was like, we're going to do this. And then we're going to cut some into thirds.
It started actually. The original vision was it just went like this at an angle. This whole back and forth. It was just a leaning tower of pizza,
Yeah.
I have to build those
but
things,
but
man.
the build was difficult.
And I actually had so many other terrible plans for that tower. I wanted to originally say, hey, Brad, can you put blood packets inside of it so
Yes,
that when
I
you
can.
pulled it and it would drip blood? Or can we put this is an idea that never made it just because in the post situation it's terrible. I wanted to put a tiny speaker that was hollowed out in one of the blocks. So
that
in
would've been
one of the blocks, we would hollow it out. We'd put a speaker into it,
Yeah.
and we'd have it in loop, just saying tongues over and over
Jeez.
again.
Okay.
So that
Could've
when they
done
would
that,
lean
too.
in to pull, but it's so bad for TV.
Yeah,
It doesn't
yeah.
make any sense because sync issues are terrible, and
Right,
it doesn't
right,
make
right.
sense. It's great for an experiential, like putting it on the table with your friends, but as a show, it just doesn't work. But I was like, Adam, let me do it.
Yeah.
TV, it can't just be fun for them.
The blood would have been fun.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much, you guys. And thank you once again to you folks in our community. You have written, you have drawn, and we have listened and seen. You have come up with art, tattoos, crochet, much, much more, and we have seen them all on Twitter. We're going to show a fan sizzle reel of all of the things that we have gleaned from you guys. And before we go to it, I do want to remind you that apologies if we missed you. Apologies if we didn't quite get to you. If you once again want us to see it, we all will look at it. We love it so much. So please feel free to retweet it and include the hashtags Sagas of Sundry and hashtag Madness. And for bonus getting seen, tag at Join Team Alpha. So again, hashtag Sagas of Sundry, hashtag Madness, and at Join Team Alpha. With that said, Ivan wants to say something too.
Throwback, just real quick, to all of your amazing Darby cosplay from Dread.
Oh,
So,
yes.
Just saying,
Yes.
we see you.
Yes.
We know it's amazing.
It really, really is. This show is not about me, but I'm happy to have a little bit of talking about me, a little bit. So that's fine. So without further ado, here's your fan sizzle reel of art. Oh, thank you once again so much. I wish you could have heard the squeals of delight, literal screams and screeches. It was a barnyard. Well, yeah, there's an example. Because all of us are here now from the entire Sagas of Sundry Season 2 madness, and I have to say, y'all look good. y'all clean up really, really nice. Let me, without further ado, introduce who we're meeting tonight. So first off, we have Marisha Ray playing Abigail, aka Kathy. Liam O'Brien, who plays Emmett Markham. Hello, and Erica Ishii, who plays Selena Sugiyama. Well,
there was some debate about the spelling of that between all the articles and everything else, but yeah.
Yes, and Xander Genere, who plays Fenley, and I actually only met him for the first time tonight, and before I actually say his name, I do want to say that I know all of these lovely people, and they are so charming and sweet and happy in real life, and they play such dark characters that I just thought that Jeremy might just be a dark person, just deep down in his soul. So yes, this is Jeremy Walker. Yay! We can applaud now. All right. Yeah, the main thing I want to know is how did you all come together and get into this project? All 5 of you. Yeah, you came into it knowing about Sagas of Sundry Dread already, right? Most of you? Mm-hmm. And then, so someone said you for Madness. And
so Ivan sat me down and said he might have concerns. Because he was like, look, I don't want to promise anything, but I might have to. Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, I mean,
and you're right. You were completely right, too, because I'm just like on camera for all my hosting in Geek and Sundry. I'm just really bubbly and happy, and they were really concerned that I wouldn't be able to do horror.
And we needed you to be dark.
Yeah, that I couldn't
we
go
needed
dark.
you, and like I said all the time, I needed you to make the hard choice, and I just wanted you. I wanted you to have the opportunity to be able to say, yes, I can make the hard choice, and you did. And honestly, your name got your name was brought up several times, and it was one of those where it was like, oh man, it'd be great. Can't you do it? Can't you do it? Can't you do it?
Yeah.
And we just decided to be like, I'm gonna cuss, so just heads up ahead. Like,
please.
fuck it, let's do it. Let's get
and
Erica
then-
in here. Let's see what she can do.
My
You know?
sensibility.
And
but
she
yeah,
killed
I'm
it.
just so
And she killed
grateful
it.
that you took the risk.
You-
without-
Killed it.
You were definitely the wild card. You were like the underdog who ended up becoming one of my favorites of the series. So, yeah.
So the key word in this is take risks, because you never know what's going to happen, because you might get Erica Ishii.
well said, well said.
Well, I think I can talk a little bit about that too, because I knew Ivan from our stints on reality TV from King of the Nerds. But we'd done tabletop stuff together, and I do another show called Dungeon Master out here, and so I think you had seen kind of what I can do in a role play scenario and with LARPing. But I'm just so grateful that you were able to pull me in for this, because this was unlike anything I've ever done before, and yeah.
And Xander, I to be completely fair, I completely depended on you to be able to carry the story in a role-playing way, because you're so good at reading pacing, and the only other person who really did that in a significant way to where I could see it outside of the storyteller was Mercer. You know, Mercer on Dread 1 100% was great about reading the pacing and telling the story, and you 100, and I knew that with you. I was like, if anyone's going to carry the story, it's going to be Xander.
It's multiple RPGs that I've played with Xander. In each case, his character is the one that's like sort of the linchpin that's like moving the story.
Just want to be the center of attention.
Which is the point of where that's why I wanted you to start, and that's why I wanted you to host the rooftop party.
It's a soiree.
Soiree.
I'm just kidding.
Rooftop extravaganza.
Thank you.
I feel like you guys were like the shoo-ins, like.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like you guys were like the.
I mean, we know
shoo-ins, like,
them
duh,
from
like
the
natural
tiny,
choice.
the tiny like project,
Independent,
roll me.
It's hard to
roll me
pronounce.
hard.
Yeah.
Roll it important. Yeah.
Crit roll.
Important dice. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I kind of reached a point halfway through, and I was being kind of typical non-decisive Marisha, and Ivan was like, "Do you want to be in the series, or do you want to like help me with the story? You're very passionate about H.P. Lovecraft and the way you see this. What do you want?" And I was like. And I was like, you decide for me. I did, yeah. And I was like, because I was torn, because I was like, I care, but I want to be in it, but I don't know. I was like, you do it. You make the choice. So then you decided for me, which meant after a certain point, I helped in production, especially like logistically for a while and kind of thematically. And then there was a certain point where I had to completely just detach and let it go.
I cut you off so hard.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
I can quit anytime.
And Liam came to us not because of any of us. Like, I love you. You're one of my best friends, but I did not suggest you.
Liam knows that I did.
It was Adam.
I did.
It was Adam Lossie. Yeah.
I had your back. Liam and I did a movie together. We have some street history here. I wasn't gonna let him go down.
What was the movie?
Yeah. Can you talk about it?
It was called Independence Day. And it was called the Phoenix Incident. And we did some running from aliens in the desert.
I
And
didn't know you did Phoenix Incident with
yeah.
Keith.
That is correct.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Correct.
spent a lot of time in the desert.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of us came back alive.
Yes, that was part of our first meetings over there. Yep. So.
And to be honest, it's like we knew we were doing a Lovecraftian, dark, psychological horror RPG, and I was like, Liam.
Yeah.
Hey,
Liam, are you available?
I'm a very happy person.
Said no one ever.
Building is laughing out of acknowledgement right now.
Well, I'll credit Adam for me being a part of the show because, as many of you know, this was like my intro in RPG, which was like what an intro in RPG, thanks to this guy. And Adam and I worked together on Escape the Night season 1. Was season 1, right?
Yeah, season 1.
And it was just an incredible experience. You know, he's such a great director, and it was like he brought me on, and we tested one other show, and Ivan was GM, and he's like, listen, this is I think the one that's going to be good for you. He's like, I was like, well, I don't really know this world really, but he's like, you're an actor, just act. It's like being in a play for 12 to 15 hours straight. And I was like, that sounds pretty awesome. Why not do it? And man.
And you knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
He did. And what I loved about Jeremy that he brought to the table is that I wanted this sort of charismatic character to come into play who had this charm and wit and kind of a ladies' man energy to the table that we didn't have in season 1, right? And
What's up,
I almost thought you were going to say that we don't have in Geek and Sundry.
Well, you do now.
that's also true. That is also true.
Sorry, continue.
Yes, that is also true. But and so I wanted that kind of charisma, and he just had that so much. And I was like, Jeremy, how can I convince you to try this thing and get you in? And so, thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you.
And when Adam brought you to go meet with Jeremy, it was very clear, even from the first minute that I was talking, that he got it. Because I met a lot of people who were actors, and you say like, "Oh, I'm an actor. This is easy for me." It's not. These kind of choices don't always come naturally, and more importantly, they don't always feel like you don't understand that this is an organic choice that's being made, and the trials and tribulations that this show can put you through, and you were very clearly ready to go.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, I'm so happy to have done it and just made this connection with all of you in this community, and it's just been incredible. And even as an acting experience, like the creation of Jude and just going through and writing like this intense bio of his life and all these things, and it was like, and then when we're out there and in it, it's just like it just sort of flew through me, And you and I spoke after Adam and I spoke after I guess it was like after episode 3 or something aired, or right before it aired, and he was like, "Trust me, dude. Like, I know you don't remember anything that happened, but like, it was awesome." And I'm like, "I don't know, but I can't sleep." And
I remember you telling me stories about wrapping from the show and having to decompress afterwards and having it be like a 48-hour process.
Yeah, it was like, it was madness.
We all went through our process of that. Is that a separate question? Because we have things to say about that.
Yes, it definitely is, and we can get into that right now. Actually, my experience with Madness, I knew that they were shooting, and I work in this building, and Erica just runs up to me and gives me a hug, and it's like, "Oh, Amy!" And I'm like, while I am grateful for this like overpouring emotion, what is going on? And it was this emotion of, you've been through the trenches. You have been through the trenches. You know what it's like. And that was one of the most important hugs of my life, where it was like, I survived. And I'm like, yes, you sure did, Erica. You really made it.
Did you get like a psychologist on salary for what Ivan does to people?
Once I figured out what it was, yes. But yes, what was the experience in the aftermath? I know you guys were entrenched in it for a couple of days, so that's even more intense than just one day. What was
plus,
it like?
they're in it before that, like Jeremy was saying, building up to the moment.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Erica, you said you have things to say about
I do.
it.
Oh my God. So honestly, it was like we were in it for 2 days, and it was such an intense experience, and I loved it. But afterwards, I was so in this crazy headspace, and like, so I used music I made playlists. I talked about that on my playlist. The article came out. So I made like a mixtape for Emmett, and I would wake up at night like screaming and what? I was just wait. This is after Madness. I would wake up screaming and
sorry.
one night 2 days afterwards, I woke up and I heard Ivan's voice whispering to me from the closet, "Make a ball." Oh God. I swear to God.
I am now the thing of nightmares. I've made it in life. It's perfect.
You really were like a haunted ghost child for the week after the show, too. But every time I saw you, you're like, oh.
And with Selena, though, I felt like because you were so in her, like more so than because she's like, hearing those voices like so much, and you were like, I can't repeat what you were saying because it was just like it was amazing. But
plus, like we kind of all took a little bit of a break from the characters, and you were in the green room, like constantly listening to the playlists and doing push-ups and stuff like that, and staying in it more, I think, than some of us may have.
Wait, is that true? During the breaks, you would stick around?
While she's doing
dude,
sit-ups.
she took it on like a deep meta method level, man.
So sometimes we would all like hang out and stuff, but if and that was like nice, but then most of the time I would go to the green room alone and I'd do like planks and sit-ups and push-ups, and I'd listen to this one song over and over and over on a loop.
What is that song?
It's the Punch Brothers cover of Another New World, it's this song, and I put it on my playlist, and it's about this brilliant explorer who's going to go find a new world in the Arctic, and like the only person and thing that he's ever loved in his life is his ship, the Annabelle Lee, and like they go up there and disaster befalls, and eventually he's the only one left, and he has to like burn the ship, and it's like he's burning this person alive, and he like goes kind of insane. And so I was just listening to this over and over again, doing sit-ups and push-ups in the dressing room. So.
Oh wow.
No wonder you didn't sleep.
I did,
Like,
yeah.
waking up in the
It was, and like I was like, making sure to like take care of myself and everything, because like self-care is important, but also staying in your head is like that. I did.
Stayed in your head.
Yeah,
you were in there.
head.
And then I was in your head sometimes too.
And sometimes I was there.
Yeah.
I feel bad because like our decision. I mean, and you really do. Ivan has talked several times, and we've talked a lot about DM aftercare and just self-care, kind of going through these experiences, because you really do, immerse yourself and put yourself in the shoes. And I mean, almost like selfishly, we were like, Selena has to be the one. Spoiler: if you're watching this,
Yeah,
you've watched
you know.
it, right?
Yeah.
But we're like, Selena has to be the one to go and keep going because she is the only one who can get us out. But then, like, you don't think about that in a selfish way because we're like, well, you go first, but then you are the only one left with like very real survivor's guilt.
I 100% had survivor's guilt, and I thought about like Xander. I was talking, and like even like after the episode where Xander's character dies, I was just like, oh my god, like I feel this terrible survivor's guilt, like, and my character would have felt so terrible.
And Xander, speak a little bit about what you talked to me when you were watching the monitors after Fenley died.
Oh, well, that's the thing is like I got to stay in like the video village and got to see it happening, and you don't realize like how beautifully shot this whole thing is. And even like I talk about this with other people that do like RPGs. Like everybody has their stories from their games, and it's kind of like sharing your dreams. Like you don't really get it, and it's like I don't want to hear about your game. You had to be there. But with this, it's such a gift. Yeah. With this though, it's such a gift that we get to relive what actually happened in the game in an engaging and beautiful way. That we get to share that with other people. Like no, like I died and I got flung into the stars because I opened a stupid door. And people are like, "Oh, I know."
I was there, I saw it.
Liam, did the show have any lasting after effects for you?
Yeah, I mean, Ivan asked me just to come play Jenga. So much happened in 2 days that I really like. I binged the entire first season of Sagas, and it still didn't really prepare me for it. I mean, it was intense. It was a great show, but I was like, okay, well, I'll go and play, and it was intense. And I went home the first night, and then my wife at home was like, "What's the matter with you?" I was like, "Oh, no, I'm not Jenga."
But
I don't
also,
know.
you got like the surprise of the show because none of us knew there was another cast member
Oh
there.
yeah, you got a little scene partner who just kind of showed up.
What was that like?
Yeah, and did you know that was happening?
No, and I should mention that the hour before we shot that scene, was I first up?
You were
First
you were
up.
not first up. You were
Second or third?
You were last.
Oh, was I?
You were last because we still had to put Alejandro through makeup. Yeah.
By the way, off the top of your head, Alejandro Cejudo.
Yeah, who's a fantastic
so
actress.
good.
You can find her on Twitter.
Yes, Alejandro Cejudo.
Yeah, another Adam find, by the way, which
okay.
I found out later that she played the game with us, but oh my God. And that was the only part of the actual series that was scripted. So I wrote her monologue. For her.
Oh, wow.
You know, originally.
Yeah, for her.
Yeah.
Talking about intense. I mean, are you kidding me? Liam's prologue.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's.
The hour beforehand too, Ivan came up to me at least 3 times and was like, "Listen, are you okay if things get raw and real?" And I thought, "Are you asking? Is it okay if like Xander grabs me by the lapels and shakes me?" Yeah, I've done. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Whatever you want to do. But you kept coming back and asking, and kept saying, "All right, get in that room. Shut the door.
Yeah.
Actors, stay in your rooms." Because they were escorting the corpse back and forth, I assume.
Oh my gosh.
The corpse.
Well, that was a brilliant, very. When I saw it, I was like, wait, what's happening? Like he gets what? Who is? Ah!
Part of my head was going, why'd you do this to me? Why'd you do this to me? Why'd you do it? But the other half was just going, wee.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
What is so? There's so much to love in playing a game like this, whether it's on the show or in your house. With any of these kinds of games, it almost feels like a ritualized version of theater.
Yes.
It comes with like traditions and rituals that you have to do along with it, but it's providing the same thing, which is just a way for all of us to plug into story. And story is so important to human existence. It has been for thousands and thousands of years,
Right.
far beyond recorded human history. We say around the fire all the time, but it's true, and that's what turned into Aristotle and theater and Euripides, and then all the way up to present. We want story. It helps us try to cope with the highs and lows of human existence. And
Before we had flickering lights on a TV, we had flickering lights by the fire, and we would tell stories by that fire.
To help try to understand our existence. So, and this was like mainlining that. So thanks, by the way.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Jeremy,
you're welcome.
we haven't heard from you yet. What was the prep and the aftermath for you with this craziness?
Well, the prep was I binged Dread as well, and was like, okay, this is what am I getting myself into? You know, and like I was saying earlier, you know, not knowing this and not really, you know, growing up and playing RPGs or doing things like this, you know, it's like, well, I have to just draw from what I know, which is years of acting, you know, and it was just the character creation was really fun because it was like, hey, you know, it's like whatever you really want him to be, this is the idea, but you know, you can sort of make him be whatever. And that was like, you know, I was sitting there one day, I was like wigging out on Jude, and I text. I don't know if I texted.
You texted me.
Yeah, I texted
you were like,
Ivan.
I feel, and it was coined in such an actor way.
Yeah.
It was like, I feel like Jude's a smoker.
Yeah.
I would. Is it okay? Like you were asking for permission, basically, but you're doing it in the way that like an actor would normally try to find this type of thing, which by the way is totally fine. The only thing we had to clear was to make sure, hey, can we have fire on set for you to light the cigarette? But
How do those herbals taste, by the way?
how do
like shit, basically. But, you know, but whatever. You know.
but that text was beautiful
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you were asking permission for something that in my mind you didn't need to ask permission for, you know, as far as a character goes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was, and I'd already went out and bought clove cigarettes, by the way, like before I even asked permission, because I was like, well, even if I can't do it, I'm just gonna, as I'm prepping the.
You know
the
what?
character.
That cigarette actually had the same effect for me as Liam's friend did, Sam, the woman in the tub. But because I was like, what's he doing? He's lighting a cigarette. Like it's just one of those. I mean, it's totally 90s, but it's just something you don't see anymore on TV and film. And then it's definitely like the way I'm also thinking, like from a producer standpoint, like you know, get fire on the set or whatever. But it was so like it was one of those like, oh wow, and it gave you such swagger that I'm so happy you made that choice.
It was. I mean, thank you, you know, for allowing me to do it.
They were used really well, like punctuation in well-written fiction.
Yeah.
A certain limited amount of cigarettes. So.
Oh yeah. No, with
I don't mean to be so bossy, guys. I also produced this show. So.
yeah.
You guys, microphone.
Pass the mic.
Marisha, the wig. Who's you transformed? Like it was one of those things where I was like,
This wig,
wait,
there
who
was
is
much
this?
discussion about this
Oh
wig.
my God,
Who
we
is
went
this
back
woman?
and
I
forth.
said-
Yes, tell me.
Yeah.
Tell
Go, you say it.
Yeah,
It
because
must come from you.
once again, it was like
Go, wig,
another.
go.
I had like such this whole show was such a learning curve for me in terms of not only a whole kind of new theater that we kind of sort of invented, kind of.
TDRRPG. Theatrical drama reality role playing game.
What Ivan just said.
Yes.
And then I also had to trust and let go and know that it was going to be okay. And then I also I love Lovecraft and that lore so much, so I had strong feelings. So there were like times that I'm like hearing whispers through other people and be like, Ivan, what are you doing? What is this? 90s? Why does Erica look like Gwen Stefani? What is happening? And I was like, I don't know.
Not an accident.
Yeah. And it was like, trust. And then we kind of had this like actress thing, but we were like, kind of part of the transformation was we were like the Geek and Sundry audience knows Marisha, me. So what can we do and give them something totally different? So we were all kind of on board with like, let's do something that no one will expect.
Yeah, I mean, and I knew that too. It's like, okay, and I wanted, of course, it to come from you because all character creation should come from what you're interested in doing. So when you made this choice of like, I feel like Abigail's really, she's dark and she's got some of these deep-seated kind of like anger issues inside of her. And when you talked about the wig, I was like, yes, okay, let's take it in a whole new direction. And I remember you explicitly were talking about, Caliph is very bubbly. She's the glue that brings people together.
Did you just call me Keyleth?
Keyleth, yeah. Well, I know you said Keyleth.
You are referencing Keyleth.
I am because
okay,
I said
okay.
you
Go
explicitly
ahead. That was
said
accurate.
Keyleth is very bubbly and she's the glue that brings things together. I want to do something totally different.
Right.
I want to go into the opposite direction. I'm like, okay, what is that direction?
Yeah.
And then we came into it. and then we kind of let you discover who Abigail was going to be.
She's a weird cross section though, because we wanted. We decided that her backstory was going to be this girl kind of trying to come to Los Angeles from middle America town, nothing I can relate to, and try to make it, but also someone who was fabulous, but also gritty and dark and gothy and gave zero fucks.
Yeah.
So it was like, where's that cross section between this is who I am and who I want to be, but also fuck all of y'all if you don't like it.
Badass and vulnerable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think is how I describe her.
And what and just so people know about the story of the wig, that wig that you wore on set, you got like the night before.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
Oh,
because I got a shorter one, and then they were like, "No, we don't like it. It's too Catherine Zeta-Jones," is what you said. So then
I need to make you. I need to make you look amazing.
Yeah.
Is what I said. I need you to look amazing for this, and I need you to feel two things: both violent and vulnerable. Yeah. And I will get you there.
Adam and I, we had a private powwow. We're like, "What do you think about the wig?" Because you sent us photos, and we looked at it together, and we're like,
Oh my God.
I know, okay.
I love wigs so much. Like I have like 60 at home, and you have wig face, my friend.
and the glory.
Thank you. And the whole, and I mean, not to mention, it was the perfect wig for the character. So
It was
whatever
perfect.
went down, it was the right decision.
Those 2 inches made all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
It was huge, just how like 2 inches of length made difference between Catherine Zeta-Jones in Chicago and,
Sure.
and like Abigail.
Yes, perfect.
You know?
I didn't feel like I was hanging out with you, behind the scenes. It was. I would have to remind myself.
The makeup, there were 2 different makeup artists between day 1 and day 2. And on the second day, the makeup artist from the first day was showing pictures of, Marisha in costume to the second girl. And the girl was like, "Oh, so you want me to make this girl look like this girl?" And they're like, they're the same person. And they're the same person. Yeah.
They
It was
pulled it off of like
unrecognizable.
Instagram. It was like a makeup tutorial, and I was like, "Oh no, that's me. That was me yesterday." And they were like,
Oh my gosh.
"That was fun."
Well,
Yeah.
I want to actually now talk about a person who can't be here, to my chagrin, because I really wanted him to be here. And you guys don't even know that he did try so hard to get here, and between flights getting delayed and gigs and everything, he just couldn't. And that man is Darren DePaul. And he was always meant to host this with me, and couldn't, just so many things, couldn't make it happen. But he, I think, is an instrumental part to the entire series. For those of you who don't know, he plays Mr. Wren, Darren DePaul. So I do want to, on top of, with Alejandra's, I want to give him a round of applause too. And then he definitely deserves it. And then maybe talk to Adam and Ivan about the creation of Mr. Wren and his just maniacal joy, I guess, because it is so dark, and yet you love him.
So Adam and I had originally talked about, and Marisha, because this was all during the conception of season 1, it's like Sagas of Sundry needs its Crypt Keeper. It needs the Twilight Zone opening that's going to hold into it, that's going to bring all of them together. Who's that going to be? And I think it was you, myself, Sean, and it was Eric Campbell who were in the room. And because the other problem of this is that, okay, we need to shoot it like next week because the episodes are coming out in 2 weeks. So we need to put this together quickly. And I knew kind of what I wanted. I wanted a little bit of like that Twilight Zone appeal. I wanted a man in a suit. I knew that much, but I didn't know who it was going to be. And I believe it was Eric Campbell who threw out Darren DePaul. And because this is after us talking about 15 different names. And I think as soon as we said Darren DePaul, all of us went, duh!
Yes.
Of course!
Yes.
Why could it be anybody else?
Yes.
And it was like that call where, like, I think Marisha said, call him, see if he's available. And Eric, I remember the look on his face, the poor man. I remember looking at his face and being like, oh God, okay.
Like
That
you could spot on Eric Campbell impression.
And you could see that look in his face being like, oh, oh God, I hope he's available. And he was.
Yes.
He was. And then we didn't even know who Mr. Wren looked like until I had him in the makeup chair. And all I said is that, hey, can you bring a couple of suit options and maybe like a sports jacket, like some kind of smoking jacket? Bring that, you know? The smoking jacket.
Yeah.
Which was just important because I just imagined him like sniffer of brandy.
Yep.
Like telling the story. I had written all of his stuff out, and then it was since he got so excited about it, he took a pass on it as well too. And then I did another version onto it, and we got him on set, and we discovered this. And the makeup who was putting it together, we were kind of discovering, and I said, okay, I don't want Vincent Price, but I do want this like kind of ethereal figure. And he was telling me, it's like, okay, well, we can do this. I can do this glasses. I can do this glasses. I can do a pencil mustache. And I said, stop. Yeah. Pencil mustache.
Yes.
Give me John
Pencil
Waters.
mustache.
Absolutely. I mean,
And then I think I explicitly told her, I said, do Gomez Adams, but make it about an inch shorter.
well, I think his mouth is actually the most interesting part of his Mr. Wren. Like there are times when I'm like, how is his mouth doing that? And like I need a gif of him saying madness because it's like he's got about 20 more muscles in his mouth than any other human that I know.
It was perfect.
So-
And Sean Becker and I were on set directing the day with Dredd. And I remember having this nervous, like, did I make the right choice? Did it go okay? And then he did his first take of the first one, and I peed myself. I didn't actually pee myself, but I nearly peed myself.
Yeah.
The delivery was
You're
so
amongst
good.
friends. You can
Yes.
be honest.
Yes, you can
It was
say.
so good. And I was like, forever. And then I think Sean, and one of the things that I always remember he said too, it's like, I look forward to when we can do this. Like, we'll know if we can do this moment right now with Mr. Wren again in season 2, then I'll be happy.
Nice.
Remember him saying that. And then I remember feeling that same way when we shot Madness in your backyard with him.
Yeah, we shot all those the Mr. Wren sequences in my backyard
Oh my gosh.
because
Gorgeous black. backyard.
sometimes you do a production and you spend all the money on the production and go, shit, we need a garden to shoot out. Oh, my backyard. Just use my
And
backyard.
sometimes the best location just happens to have like an awesome Cthulhu fountain,
I
though.
know. Yes, it's
It
gorgeous.
worked out okay.
Well, to the cast who are here, I think for me the biggest difference between Dread and Madness is the building blocks of a group of friends going on a camping trip versus a group of strangers who somehow can tell the same story with the same amount of conflict, the same amount of love, and the same amount of arcs. So I want to talk now about relationships between all of you. I know, Erica, you and Liam had a special bond, and then you had a terrible bond with Abigail. And then Jeremy, your relationship with Abby was definitely, like, there was something there clear from the start, and we got a little more down the road. And then Finley is just sweet.
Alone forever.
Alone
That's
forever, yes. But
In the stars.
but you were the glue for a long time. You were definitely the glue, and whether that was by design, but I think it was more just based on who Finley was.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that. So let's start off with Erica and Marisha. Did you guys make a choice to hate each other?
No, not
Oh my
at
God,
all.
it's so funny. Actually,
It just comes out in the watch.
It's
just kinda comes
I
out.
had no idea until we were watching. I was like, "Oh, I was mean." No, it's funny.
Bad actor, and it was game on.
Fantastic moment.
So Selena's just really, really awkward. I guess. I mean, she just doesn't socialize. She's not socialized, and then that's part of it. And then part of that is she intentionally does try to keep a wall up to keep people out. But it's funny because in my original questionnaire, do you remember one of the questions for the questionnaires you sent us was, have you seen anybody else in the building before? And do you remember what my answer was?
Yeah. No, she was onto it. So Selena's whole part, and because she was the person who's been in the building besides Jude, she'd been in the person the longest, and in her mind, she had dirt on everybody. But this is in her mind, you know? In her mind, she knew everybody's secrets because she's Mrs. Know-It-All, and it was her way of protecting herself from everyone else's relationships. So, yeah, no, it was. It was like you saw Jude and Abigail in flagrante delicto.
Right, but
So-
also, do you remember what the answer specifically was? Like,
I
if
don't.
I knew anybody else or talked to anybody else?
I don't remember that part. No.
It was the cute girl from the mailroom.
I'll take it.
Yeah, no, I do remember that because I was like, is there anyone you're interested in? And yeah, and you did. And you were like, yes, I do remember that because you had some connection. We tried to tie those together a little bit because there was an element of Selena being like confused about what, like, am I attracted? Am I not? Is weird things emotions?
Do I like her? And so I, like, I guess, verbally pulled your hair.
And I was such a bitch in return.
Yes, Marisha, you started it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I watched that and I was like, this is going to be important for when I interview them, but you started
No,
it.
Abby does not do well with any type of criticism at all.
And it was like, it was just such an awkward thing to say, and it just like came out of Selena's mouth. But like my favorite part about that was like by the end, and like people on Twitter called it out too. She's like, she calls Abigail our girl Abby. And stuff like, yeah, that's our girl.
Yeah.
That was
I
like,
remember-
so it was like one of my favorite arcs.
The first, it was like, or as after, it was like our first break in shooting. And then Liam comes out, and I remember, and he comes out into we're like all in the green room, and you're just like, you look at Marisha, and you look at me, and you're like, you guys are assholes. It was like so perfect. Yeah, it was like, you guys are assholes.
Well, I remember at the end of the first episode when the cops came.
Yeah.
And like Jude and I are the ones with like, we're not cool with cops. And then we have good old Finley being our face man.
Okay. I wanted to talk about this though. Okay, so it came out a little bit with his backstory of the abusive ex-boyfriend, and in my mind, Fenley got out of that situation by reaching out to people, and like the police had helped him, and like he went to a shelter and stuff like that, and so he had this good relationship with police, and so he's just like, they're here to help. Oh boy.
Circle.
Yeah. They yelled cut and they were like, okay, that's episode 1 in the can. And me and Jeremy were both like, what the fuck, Xander? What the fuck? And he was like, I don't know. Was that the wrong thing? And we're like, no, it just makes things complicated.
The edit with like the face palm, Jeremy's face palm. Was so funny. And like Liam called it out first, like, and he's like, I don't think these guys are cops.
That's
and,
one of my favorite moments.
Yeah.
Not cops.
The not cops.
So good.
Yeah, there was a lot in that whole cop thing that needed to. That was a big fuzzy area of who knows where this is gonna go.
Yeah.
And I was delighted that we all came to the decisions that we came to. So.
Well, you can plan a lot, I think, but in games like this, it's like there's your plan and then what actually happens. Like, I didn't do anything. Nothing went the way I thought it would in this game. I thought I was going to be. First of all, I thought I was going to be. I'm going to be the the mostly well-adjusted guy who falls into hell. He's just a normal guy. And then from my prologue, I just had to go, no, I'm crazy, actually. I'm actually crazy. So that's what we're doing instead. Yes. And I also said to myself going in, like, everything that's going on with his backstory, he's going to be a loner. Whatever happens here, he's going to be a loner. So the whole time things started, whatever was happening, I was like, no, I'm alone. Oh, hi.
yeah.
Yes.
It was so shocking, and so much happened in 2 days of shooting around a Jenga tower.
Yes.
It was really surprising.
That's the beautiful thing about red herrings, you know, is that sometimes when you're building out good horror, you literally build red herrings into storylines to throw people off their guard.
Yeah. One thing we talked about permissions. You're talking about permissions. So a couple of nights before we shot, I texted Ivan and I said, like, hey, can we go over boundaries with people? Because I'm like 100% comfortable with anything, like verbal, physical. Like, I have no limits. But I want to make sure that everybody else in this improv exercise that we're doing also feels the same. And so Ivan hooked us up into a group text and said, like, hey, this is here for you to talk about boundaries. And I said, like, I have nothing. And Xander's like, this is fine. Would you specifically correctly said.
Yeah, well, and this is something that we kind of talked about beforehand, but the 90s was not a good time for gay people, and there were a lot of slurs that can be thrown around and things like that, and I'm like, I wanted people to know that because I am gay myself, that I didn't have a problem with that kind of attitude if any of the characters were homophobic or any of the NPCs were homophobic, which some of them were, in that it wasn't going to affect me in an adverse way, in that I was comfortable with it.
And do you remember your response?
Probably in classic me fashion, I was like, I'm game, bring it.
Yeah, here
Yeah.
you're like, limits. What are those?
What are limits? Yeah.
And
Both of us like wrote a novel in text form.
Yeah.
Just like,
And
we're artists.
I think I was like, bring it on or something like that. Yeah.
You said literally like, bring it on.
Yeah.
You said, bring it on. And then I realized
it's a microphone.
I was just looking back at the text thread and I realized Liam never answered. You didn't answer. And he was the one that I was the most physically involved with.
You didn't get consent. Oh no.
I was obviously not on this text thread.
Well, and Jeremy and I, we ended up talking the night before for like a good 30 minutes or so, because we knew we were going to be going into this with like a background, with a backstory. So it was like, where do we lie? What does this even like mean to you?
Yeah.
And we kind of mutually agreed that I was a bad idea.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Well, I think we were both bad ideas for each other.
100%. Yeah.
But at first.
At first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will say this though, I'm giving so much love and credit to you, Mauricio, because like, I not only did we talk about our characters, but I was like, what do I do? Like, I don't, I've never done this. Like, you're like, and you were just like, you got it. Like, and we didn't even really know each other. We met with like 2 days before.
Yeah.
And you were like, you just like gave me this good feeling of confidence there that like, listen, like if you just trust your instincts and trust yourself and trust your acting ability, you'll be fine. And just like, and trust the other players. Yeah. And like, if anything ever happens, like we got you, and that's how it was. And even though we played as strangers, and I was definitely a stranger to the whole world, it was like, I still felt protected in a way that like I could make a choice, that I could, do anything that, and if I was like, what choice do I make here, that everybody else that was playing the game was there and in it and could like carry it along, and our relationship, it was so cool the way it developed, because I didn't really expect it to happen like that either.
I saw when it happened too, and I was so proud of the moment. It was in the escape room. When all of your shit was laid out before you. Everything happened in the escape room.
It wasn't an escape room. It was a narrative engine.
Thank you, Adam. It was
like
because there wasn't any timer on it, but there's no timer, no crap. It was a puzzle mechanism. Sure. But the point is I was so incredibly proud of what you brought into that. All of you were basically like, all of you basically just vomited everything that you were dealing with.
Yeah. That's where the madness, I feel like, really like shit. That's where
started.
It went crazy right there.
Yeah.
Well, it was. Oh, sorry.
No, please.
As I say, it was funny because I'm so glad in hindsight that you took my talk as encouraging, because on my end, I was thinking it's like convincing someone that they're about to just like take a cult initiation, but it's gonna be okay. Like that's kind of what it felt like, because I'm like, it's gonna be weird and we're all gonna like get into it. So
which is perfect
just
for
trust
me.
trust it. And it was like trying to be like, it's gonna be a trust fall moment and we got you, man.
Yeah, and that's how it was. And I've been to enough hippie festivals to say like, all right, that sounds good. Yeah,
That's fantastic.
I can do this.
Jumping off of that, I think one of the reasons that these things are so fun to do and such beautiful or crazy moments happen is that it's like it's like the best moments you have in rehearsal as an actor, because when you're rehearsing, you throw yourself into it, but then you totally break character and go like, between moments, and you allow yourself those little like pressure releases, and you're like, well, I'm just trying something. But when you're willing to fail in rehearsal, amazing things happen, and that's what's going on in this game. Is that we're not making a movie. It's still a game. We're only in character like 80% of the time or 85% of the time. And then you're seeing us like laugh at what just happened because we're saying, well, it's a game. We're trying something. And there's something about that gives you more freedom than if you've got a script and there's cameras going and we're making a TV show. I got to get it right. I got to get it right. Mm-hmm. We're allowing ourselves to fuck up.
Yeah,
and allows amazing things to happen.
Yeah. Denise, did you have something to say?
On top of that, I just wanted to say, since we're talking about the acting right now, we talk about acting, just so everybody knows, this isn't regular acting. This is improv acting, and not everybody can do it. Like, so these guys deserve so many props because it's such a combination. It is a new like animal that we've created where it's a game, but it's also improv acting, and there are really fewer people who can do it than cannot. So
I mean, it was it was so insane because like everybody was so deep into their characters that they could like react to literally anything as their characters. They could react to like somebody coming out of the shower that they had no idea was in there, or like solving puzzles together in character, or just like at every single moment, like we just were in their heads so much that we knew what to do.
And to Liam's point, so even if you're laughing at things, whatever, back and forth, whatever's going on, the fact that you can always go back and then immediately like feel things like as your characters immediately, like snap right the F back into it is mind-boggling.
Real quick on that too, I was a little bit nervous because I had a conversation with Ivan about like, how are you in like scary situations or whatever, and my defense mechanism is sarcastic comments, and so I'm like, if I can make people laugh, it diffuses the tension, and then it's not scary anymore. And
don't diffuse the tension.
I know. He's like, I want tension. But I found
suppress your instincts. This is madness.
Yeah. But playing someone like Fenley, there was an outlet for that where I could make my sarcastic comments, even if I didn't mean for people to hear them, and I muttered them into the mic. They heard them. But
it was great, and I knew it was perfect.
Yeah,
it was
so good,
and it did not kill the tension.
Okay, good.
Well, we're going to go into some of your questions, but before we do, I do want to ask our actors here. I like to say that every point that you're at, there's a kind of a roadmap that got you there. So what was your acting experience? Obviously, some of you have had tons of it. Obviously, some of you have had role-playing experience, but I'd like to know how you got here really quickly. Marish, if you want to start.
Oh, boy. Sure. Yeah. I mean, I went to college and then dropped out for acting, but had acted and done like performing arts and musical theater my whole life. And I got scouted by an agent out here that kind of gave me like the stars in your eyes talk. And he was like, if you come out to Los Angeles, I'll make you a star, kid. And I was like, okay, I'm 18 and impressionable. And so I did, and it was still, I mean, I suffered, I was broke, I did crazy things for money. That sounds like I turned tricks, but I didn't do that. It wasn't that type of crazy, just other crazy.
No judgment. This is Hollywood.
Yeah, it's true. But then I ended up getting into an improv class, met a girl who did other video game journalism and like hosting in video games. And her name was Becky Young. She had just got done doing a web series called There Will Be Brawl with this guy named Matthew Mercer. I didn't know who he was at the time. And then so we kind of met through like the geeky web series scene. And she was like, I need a girl. Because I was like, you like video games? I like video games. Let's talk about video games and be friends. And awesome. It was almost verbatim how it went. And then she kind of introduced me to a lot of amazing people who I'm still now working with to this day. Like Tracy King, who was one of our producers on the first season of Dread, was one of the first people I met in this town.
Yeah. She was great.
Yeah, and so I kind of ended up kept following my love for both gaming and geekiness and acting kind of at the same time, and then eventually they just kind of smashed into each other, and now I'm here at Geek and Sundry crying over Jenga.
Well, I also went to college for acting, but I didn't drop out. Debatable. I stayed with it, and I was going to be a very, very serious theater actor. I was only going to work in the theater. I didn't need anything else, and I got over that pretty quick because it's hard to feed yourself working in the theater. But I did it for like regional theater and off-Broadway for 4 or 5 years, and then wanted to get out of New York when things got sour in New York, and thought, it's probably too late for me to be on camera, but I started to do a little bit of dubbing anime because I met a guy doing a play, and I said, maybe something will happen with voiceover. Maybe that'll work, I guess. And I was still doing theater here in LA, and then slowly that little pebble became a little rock and turned into a boulder eventually. And then I just like theater, I left it behind because video games and animation and anime and now regular animation just start going. And it's hard to, when life is.
Is that a Cthulhu impression? I just need to.
No, that was my nervousness before the show started. But sometimes life just, you tell life, this is what I'm going to do, and life goes, oh, honey, here, try this instead. But interestingly, like I never really made. Interesting to me anyway. I never made improv a priority for myself, and I wish I'd gotten into it sooner. And Critical Role really was my baptism by fire. Yeah. It's the best thing. I mean, if there's any actors watching, improv is more important than anything. Yes. I think. And I've just loved how much we get to do every week for 4 or 5 hours. So.
That's amazing.
Take some improv classes, kids.
Erica, you and I know each other.
Oh my God.
From before we exploited our nerddom.
We did. We were both doing nerdy things separately, but we were in this like indie film thing.
Yeah, a little short.
Yeah, indie short and stuff. And it's not on the internet, and I hope it doesn't get there. Personally,
speaking of wigs, basically it's a non-sexualized version where I'm Erica's dom. Anyway, that's the short.
Pretty much.
And there were wigs, so
there was good wigs. You had a good wig.
Yeah.
Oh my God! So we had this idea of one show that we were going to do on Twitch, where like everybody has to show their old work that they're terribly ashamed of, and then like do a watch along of it. Right? Well, now you know something about Amy and me.
I have a zombie short that it will never see the light of day ever again.
You think that you say that, but
it was called Jezebel Zombie Lovin'.
That's amazing. Now I really want to see it.
Yeah, I know.
It can also be seen on Pornhub as well.
Yeah.
What's that?
But I for the record, Amy makes like a great dom. Great. But
I think we'd be interested in this short film.
There was no sex. It was a discussion between the two.
It was a discussion. Yeah. It was a discussion. But I feel like every weird skill in my life literally was leading up to madness because I was a child actor and I did on-camera stuff and musical theater and a lot of Shakespeare. I stopped in college to do the college thing, communications at UCLA and violin, and then I went back to I am method trained. I was at the Strasberg Institute. And I did that, and then I did UCB and improv, a lot of improv, and that's where I met like Sax actually, and like Joestar and all the other people that are in internet geekdom now, and so I was on this track of acting because I really I love it and I just need to breathe it. But on the other side, I just have been a geek my whole life. I learned to read with comics, and I've been playing D&D since for like decades. And on one of my improv friends actually, like same as Marisha, pulled me in and said, "Oh, you know how to do on-camera stuff, and you're into video games. So why don't you like? We just need somebody to like read a teleprompter, really." And I eventually ended up taking over all of it and writing and producing and just really taking to on-camera geekiness. And also voice acting was kind of on this little path, and that kind of started ramping up last year, and it all just kind of coalesced into madness with improv and RPGs and acting, and it was incredible. I feel like this was the most incredible gift I've ever been given in my life. Madness.
Awesome. Yeah, snaps for real.
Yeah. I had a similar story where I grew up in the Midwest playing D&D and role-playing games and things like that, and I went to.
I had that in my Midwest experience.
Well, yeah, I forced my friends to play D&D with me on my birthdays. You're like, you're coming over, and here's your character. We're doing this. I DM'd, yeah. I would always DM. But I love playing more than anything. But yeah, I have my degree in theater and art and international studies and stuff like that. And then I moved out here because I was like, I want to do film acting instead of theater acting because I've done that. I'm fulfilled. And I booked a lead role in a movie out here, which will never see the light of day. It's one of those things. But it paid pretty well, and so I was able to like sustain myself acting. And I was like, I got the bug, and I was like, this is what I want to do. And then this is advice that I give to anybody when you move to like a new city, try to find your tribe. And I was with Dungeon Master and with the sister show Adventure, and I met like Matt and Marisha and Taliesin and just fell into it. And then King of the Nerds happened, and here I am.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome, Jeremy.
Yes. So I grew up in Memphis, Tennessee, wherever. Danny Carr, where you at? Yes.
Oh, holler.
Representing.
Yes.
That's right. So I grew up there, and I always was a writer, really growing up, from like the age that I learned to write. It was like writing weird stories and all kinds of stuff. And was in Memphis until basically high school. And then after high school, I moved to Colorado, where I went to Colorado Film School and studied acting for the screen because, like Liam said, I knew that I wasn't going to make any money as a theater actor. And so I was like, well, I'll study here. I found this amazing coach. She was the dean of the acting program at the school, Colorado Film School. Her name is Galina. She's from University of Moscow. Stanislavski's trained like hardcore. And just really put me through this intense acting years of, school there. And it just took me on a whole new level. And then she'd be like, "You're ready for Hollywood." And I was like,
wow.
Okay.
Oh my God.
And so I did,
Yeah,
Yeah, so
superhero.
it was amazing.
You had
And that's exactly what she said. And so
You go to Hollywood.
Just kill these 3 people.
Activation words.
Kind of how it was. So then I, moved here and started really making money doing commercials and stuff was kind of how it came about. And then
Oh my God.
Oh.
We were at the decompression, like we all went to a bar after we wrapped to, kind of like decompress. And Jeremy got recognized from his commercial.
Well, yeah.
That's awesome.
You're the Haynes guy or
Fruit of the Loom, yeah.
Fruit of the Loom guy?
Oh my God.
And I'm like,
that guy was
dude,
so
please,
drunk.
Like,
Yeah,
He was so drunk.
not right now.
yeah, not right now. Like, too much. If you only knew what just happened. And so came here, and I had, like I said, had done the show with Adam, and I'll just tell you about this audition I had with Adam.
Yeah, please.
And it was like a straight to callback audition because
And this is for what? What project?
Escape the Night.
Escape the Night. Okay.
And the manager I had at the time knew the casting director real well. She's like, "I'm gonna get you straight to callback with the director." And I was reading for the like butler role.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
which was like the driver of the show.
That's right.
Yeah. And I go in, and it wasn't anything weird with the audition, but it's like those moments when you connect with the director. And like, this is what I felt. Maybe you're like, whatever, this guy's a hack. But like, I felt it. And I walked in, and I remember just like from the jump, I just had this like, he just started like tweaking stuff. And it was like instant. I was like, I got to work with this guy. Like, please, I want to get this job to work with this guy. And I didn't end up getting that particular role for whatever reasons.
There's a network. There's a network in the middle, and they call it all kinds of things
Yeah.
on that show. But I know. But that's exactly what I felt, Jeremy. And I said, I'm casting him anyways. Is what I said to the network in something. You can take this guy, but I'm putting him in something else, and that's
Deal with it.
deal with it. I'm casting him, so figure the rest of it out.
and that's
Oh
what
my
happened. And
gosh.
because of that, I'm here.
That's amazing.
Weirdly enough,
Yeah.
he also said you are ready.
Yeah, you're ready for it.
You're ready for Hollywood. The networks just
Hollywood.
don't know it yet. That's amazing. Well, we're going to go now to some fan questions from chat. And real quick, we have so many. Okay, so we're not going to get through all of them. So
have half an hour.
I'm so sorry. This is one though that I think is fantastic. From Dunkelheit, do you sometimes feel like your own character in Madness? Have you brought something real about yourself to create them? And I'm going to tag on, if you're ready, if you're willing, what is your personal Jenga tower? Okay.
That's heavy.
God, that's deep.
Yeah.
Jeez. So there was
The
like
real
what
question
personal
is-
touches are in there, right? Is that it?
The what?
What personal touches from
Yes.
our
Well,
lives?
have
or
you
how-
brought what have you brought yourself to create them? And yeah, do you sometimes feel like your character?
Well, for me, I remember when it was time to make a character, I just didn't have any time, so I was like, well, I was just secretly make this guy me. Not a lot of it came out in the show, but he was from upstate New York, where I spent all my summers. His name was Emmett Markham. Emmett was the name that the second choice for my son that we didn't use. Markham is my father's mother's last name, so I was just like, I'll take that and I'll take this, and I'll put that in there, and I don't want to be an actor because I'm an actor. I'll make him a writer. I'll make him a theater writer. And I'm pensive sometimes, so that's it. Too real. The question's too real.
Yeah, and that is fine.
Somebody else go next.
Okay. Well, it's funny because the original concept for Fenley was way different than the Fenley that ended up in the series. Because you had sent out the questionnaire,
Right.
but I don't know if there was miscommunication or something, but I didn't get the note that this was the 90s. And so the original Fenley was like a millennial Fenley who had blue hair in a man bun that was a barista and an
'Cause
artist.
I talked to you.
Yeah.
I talked to you late.
As soon
Yeah.
as I heard the word man bun, I said, Ivan, we should reconsider Fenley.
No, but I do remember that was the one part we missed because I brought you in and then but it was fine because all the things you were saying is like, this is all great. Let's just pull it back
Change the
20
time
years
series, yeah.
or so.
Because originally his ex-boyfriend was like a social media star, and so that was the thing of like the breakup was very public, and people were
very different, but it was very similar.
similar, yeah.
Yeah.
But the creepy factor was that people were like stalking Fenley, and that like things would show up on the Instagram that they couldn't have access to, like inside the apartment and stuff like that. So like something supernatural was going on. But it was nice to kind of discover Fenley on the day too. And I wasn't going like, I'm going to be the glue and I'm going to be the center of attention. But it was nice to kind of find that in character.
Can I just bounce off of that?
Yeah.
I did the opposite of what you did, because when I was told, well, we're doing a show, we're doing Sagas, and it's Eldritch Horror, and I went, okay, 1930s. I'm a playwright in the 1930s. I need to look at Odette's plays again. I need to talk about the heyday of vaudeville going to Broadway and Stanislavski, and then I was like, okay, no, it's the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I need to watch the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
I put some Fresh Prince of Bel-Air looks together for Fenley, which he denied me on.
I'm like, no crop tops.
we found the right place for Fenley, but it was not Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Yeah. How do you follow that?
And I'm
So-
just ignoring the Jenga Tower question.
That is fine. That is well within your rights. I am not your storyteller.
So I didn't expect Jude to be such a dick, because he kind of was. But as far as like the elements I drew for myself, I guess, I very much love my mother like Jude does. And, I also have worked in hotels before. That's sort of where I got that whole element of it. But, I think Jude I have a lot of friends in my life. I'm very I really care a lot about my friends. I've tried to probably go above and beyond more than I should. And I think the difference with Jude is if there's Jude's friend that he lost, Jordan, who I reference in the show. That was when Jude stopped caring, and so because he lost this friend that he cared so much for, And so, and it was something that he sort of felt responsible for because his friend, died when he was there, and then Jude didn't tell anyone about it. He just sort of was like, because he felt like he was responsible for the death, and so he just sort of kept it on wraps, and it was like, I was never there, never knew anything. And so that's sort of like the black door that I was dealing with.
Yeah, and that's what was so tasty about like Jude's backstory is that there was this element of like, oh man, it wasn't I lost a friend. It was I lost a friend and I didn't tell anybody. So we went even deeper into it. It's like he didn't tell the family, he didn't tell anyone. So literally, like the family, as far as Jordan goes, he's a missing person. Like his family may even know that he's still alive. Kind of a situation where it's like nothing was ever reported. Because he's the only one who ever saw it happen. So like writing with that level of guilt was awesome.
Yeah. And to think about that, I mean, it's like a kid that's growing up and going through his teen years, and then all of a sudden, like at age 15, 16 years old, I was this loving person, and then I commit this sort of like sin inside myself, and that's gonna
lost.
Yes, I change it. Yeah. So.
Yeah, you are exactly like I thought, a dark person. Marisha?
Sorry. Oh, we're tangled. I mean, I kind of alluded to it earlier, but I probably the strongest element of Abigail that I brought over for myself was her kind of running away. For Abigail, maybe running away from this kind of small town, middle America, secluded lifestyle, and trying to head to a big city like Los Angeles and completely reinvent yourself, change who you are, kind of forget what was behind you.
To her detriment. Like, because we talked about your look and how the fact that your look was so extreme, it was one of the reasons you weren't getting callbacks.
Yes. Once again, especially in like the 90s when all of our black and whites were super clean cut and we were all in polos and no tattoos. Remember when the industry was like, if you have a tattoo, we won't.
Oh, yeah.
But it's impossible for you to be anyone else. So, yeah, she was kind of came and starkly reinvent. I saw her from her town in Illinois of being a like kind of tomboy, t-shirt and jeans, hair pulled back, no makeup kind of girl. And then she kind of found these idols and these old Hollywood starlets like Greta Garbo and
she got inspired and influenced, and that's what made her make this kind of leap beyond all of the things that she was dealing with at home.
Right, on top of being, once again, kind of a dark person. So I could kind of pull from my experience of knowing what it feels like being stuck in like a small town in the middle of Kentucky where no one understands you. They think you're weird because you're different, so then they call you like slurs and stuff like that just because they don't understand. And that can easily breed anger. Like I dealt with anger like in my high school years of kind of feeling trapped. And for Marisha it was like the town, and I was able to like fight past that. For Abigail, that kind of got condensed down into her father and kind of turned into...
That was the focal point.
And that was the focal point of feeling trapped by this one individual. And she was kind of a cautionary tale of what happens if you don't release your anger and let that bottle up and then just
Because being
snapping.
angry at life is so obscure, and it's
Yes.
very hard to relate to, but being mad at your father and being able to have reasons to point all of
blame.
that energy into it gives it a place to go.
Right. So,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a little more dangerous, too.
yes. And if you're a little unhinged and probably you're dealing with some issues way beyond all of that, that can definitely culminate into some bad things, which kind of ended up being Abby. Yeah.
Let's lighten the mood.
God, I was the wrong person to leave for last.
Yes.
Gosh, Selena is so incredibly different than me. But I brought a lot of myself to her, I think.
Oh, well, I'm going to disagree with you. She gets real sweet. She does, though. Like, she gets really, really sweet.
Thank you. That was something that, again, like I didn't expect would come out because she like is so walled off, and I was like, oh, she's going to be walled off, and she's not going to let anybody close because, like, what if they have to watch her lose her mind? And that's, you never want to have that. I think everybody brought physical items into their character. Probably like mine was I brought a charm bracelet that I made and everything, and
yeah, that was an easy way for me to kind of like give something to it's a totem or some kind of fetish to be able to like have something to ground to.
Grounded, yeah. It was very grounding. Yeah, okay. So mental illness runs in my family. Yeah.
This girl.
Yeah, my dad had dementia, early onset dementia, and it's funny because I'm just like a happy person. I'm very lucky, and it's not something that I'm like fixated on or that I am terrified about. It hasn't affected my relationships with people, but there was this thought like, what if it did? And Selena's kind of the person that like, if it did affect her, and I was really scared about portraying mental illness because it is done so poorly in media. In so many instances, it's so hard to do it correctly. And I know our community, especially, really appreciates it being dealt with delicately as it should be. And I didn't want to kind of make it a caricature or like mental illness gives you superpowers, kind of like a Sherlocky thing. So like bringing that, I think from my life really grounded it. Plus, I have a friend who suffers from probably psychosis, and they talked with me a lot, like about what it's like, what it feels like, what it sounds like, and made me a playlist that actually helped me get into that headspace. So I brought a lot from my real life into this, and it really, really helped a lot.
You killed it. Yeah. No, it was tough. It was one of those mental illnesses, and I agree with you. It is so, even when you touch it, it can be a lot. And I mean, it was actually the part that I was least worried about, because when you were talking about something you wanted to do, I was like, no, if Erica's going to make this choice, she's going to do it well. And she's going to do it fine. And I did a lot of my research on my end because the voices explicitly to make sure that I wasn't misrepresenting what that could mean.
Yeah, and you totally played into it in like the correct way, and that helped so much. Like the whispering in my ear while I was making the polls and like the things that you would say.
Right. Yeah, because it's ironically, and this is again not trying to take the question away from the cast here, and I'll just say very briefly, one of the reasons that we synced up on the Selena with mental illness element is at the time preparing for Madness, I was playing a lot of games, video games, and reading a lot of books that had dealt with psychological horrors. And one of the games that I was playing was Hellblade: Sensuous Sacrifice.
I specifically didn't play it before I went into this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play it now because it looks amazing.
It's great. It's an amazing game. Yeah. But in just knowing that a lot of people who are in the profession vetted that and looked at it and said, yes, this is a wonderful representation in a fantasy world of a journey that this could be into. I felt and it had such a profound effect on me that I was like, okay, I feel more comfortable than I did beforehand being able to like utilize some of these tools and tactics. So boosh.
Yeah. Thanks. Well done all around. Ivan, this question is for you. Libertinian says, for Dread, you got inspiration for the Goat Man from an urban legend subreddit. Where did you find your inspiration for Madness?
So, psychological horror is, and I'll be totally upfront. I was not a Lovecraftian fan before Madness. In fact, it was something where there was a lot of people saying, well, let's do Lovecraft, let's do Lovecraftian horror, let's explore that. And I it wasn't as exciting for me as some other things. But then I started reading all of the stuff, and then Adam and I had a big conversation about like trying to set it in a decade that's relatable. So, and then there was, of course, some concerns about that not being true to form, and a lot of the like trying to bring technology and elements into it, which I was not okay with. I didn't want, like, it was even really a stretch to have Celine to be tapped into the internet as an on top of it, and I knew that if I was going to include it, it was going to be one of those, okay, this is part of the background, but then it's not going to be part of the storyline. And that was really just kind of what it came down to.
Don't you think too, Ivan, that like we wanted to put Cthulhu, but we needed to contain it into because we wanted to build multiple rooms. So he said, what if the hotel is haunted, but not just that the hotel is haunted, but that it's like a machine or it's somehow.
What if it's because it needs to be a contained space in order for it to be able to carry the story? So what are some contained spaces that we can play inside of? Okay, well, there's buildings, and one of the things about Dread is that even though it was out in the middle of the woods, it was still in a space that we could control. So having to want to do an urban setting this time, it felt really natural to be able to just put it in a building, and then we had we talked about time-space fuckery up through the wazoo, and so it kind of all just kind of fell together, like having the building manipulate time-space and then trying to bring an elder god into the equation, and it all weirdly rolled together.
Definitely
Killed it.
This is from T-Boys. Xander, how did you feel seeing that after your heroic sacrifice, the Tower of Madness was then replaced with a new Dread Tower with even more complicated?
Well, like I had mentioned before, I got to watch everything happen in the Video Village. So, on one hand, I was glad I didn't have to deal with that. But on the other hand, like the real sad thing for me was I loved Fenley so much, but also that I didn't get to play anymore because I want to play the game, guys. Like, you know, and so that was really sad for me. But I was so happy with the choice to do that, and I feel like, even though it's like random with pulling blocks from a Jenga tower, it fits so well in with the narrative of things happening, and it's such like a classic horror story. And to go off of this too, but I think we had the conversation of like, we have to be careful as like minority characters of trying not to get killed off. Because there's like the whole trope of like bury your gaze. Yeah.
Did you end up writing that article?
I didn't, no. And
everything just was randomized, but you made the specific choice, and
there's agency with what Fenley did, and I think that's different than what the bury the gays thing plays off of. It's to humanize a gay relationship by losing someone or something like that. Yeah. But it really was anybody could die at any time, and so there was this fair element of that. So not to go on a tirade for that, but yeah,
that's perfect.
That's a fascinating point, though. But you're correct. Like, it's hard to even, like you said, when normally that is a trope to use to humanize that type of relationship. But in this case, you just died like any other normal person.
Yeah.
No, that sounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was random, but it was also a heroic sacrifice, which is different than. Oh, thank you. Which is different than a character like getting killed off just for the sake of getting killed off.
It's something that you have to think about in this new genre or whatever it is that we're all playing in, is that anything can happen to anybody at any time.
Yeah.
And so
Adam and I had contingency plans if there was going to be a death in episode 1 or 2. Like, we knew what we were going to do. We didn't know if it was going to happen, but we planned for it.
And I know you won't say what.
I mean, Fenley, then we'd have to kill you again. No. That kind of stuff can't be revealed.
I don't know if we want to pull the curtain back that deep.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
In like a weird way, though, like that makes Dread and like the Dread Tower like one of the most transhumanistic things that you can find. Like, we have surpassed it. Everyone can succumb to the Dread Tower. Like,
It's an equalizer.
It's an equalizer. Yeah, we're all on equal playing field.
cold and uncaring.
Cold and
Yes. It's not poop that is the great equalizer. It is Jenga. This is from T-Boys. Liam, if Emmett could say some final words to Selena, any final words before the tear between dimensions closed, what would they have been? Just to drop that bomb on you.
Why? Why would you ask that?
Oh, thank you, and go be happy. Go be happy. Start over.
You're cheering him already.
Also, send blankets because it's real fucking cold here. Maybe some Oreo cookies or something. Just shove them through the door. Just open it up a pinch just for a second. But mostly, thank you.
And Jude's gonna need cigarettes because that pack's running out.
That nicotine withdrawal is gonna be the killer.
Abby's flask is almost empty.
There's Postmates in the alternate dimension, right?
You think there's like a Stranger Things box where you could put Legos in it? There's not. Egos? No. There's no Egos in the alternate
Selena,
dimension.
you're already there, so what would you say to Emmett? Sorry.
No, you're not.
You're already there.
I love you.
Oh shit!
I love you. Send blanket.
Yeah, for real. It's real cold. It's real cold.
Oh, man.
Oh, wow.
Okay, this is very specific for Marisha. I understand being hesitant to use the final 3 bullets in the gun as they had been ineffective against the old crazy lady Avatar, and you didn't know what else you could have. However, this is, by the way, from Ephemeral. Yep. However, that was also a killer injury with no pulls needed. Even though I found the ending perfect, was there any guilt knowing that having an extra 1 to 3 blocks left on that tower could have made this a totally different story?
I didn't even think about the gun.
Yeah.
Wow, way to make me feel like shit, Emery. Oh man.
Yeah, if you don't have guilt, you have it now. You feeling guilty, bro?
Man, well, I mean, I think it's a classic lesson in any type of RPG game where maybe sometimes you don't want to hold on to all of your most powerful attacks because then the game might be done. You might have TPK'd by the time it comes around to your next turn. So it's always that like wait, of like, I think in my head I was thinking, I need to save these bullets in case we are actually facing off and fighting an elder god. I don't know. Hard to
By
say.
that token, we shouldn't have made it so awkward at the soiree. Because that's another extra.
From pulling
That's
awkward.
true. That's true.
Or,
I mean,
there's always the element too, and I didn't even plan this out because we had tested this skill with this challenge so many times. But when you got all 3 health blocks during the fuse test as well too, there's so many things you just never plan.
variables, yeah. So I mean, I guess to answer your question, all choices lead to now.
Real quick too, because I know that we're running out of time, but I wanted to get in that there was some backstory stuff that didn't make it into like the final cut, and so I wanted to kind of bring up that the roommate or the person that lived in Fenley's apartment before him made like the mixtape and was the DJ. Her name was Sam, and it was the same Sam that Emmett was meeting with, which is crazy, and it never came out because Fenley died before he came out. So Fenley knew Sam as well.
Lived in the building.
That is amazing.
I know.
Oh.
Dang it.
This I think will be our
Where
last
do you live?
question. It's specifically for Jeremy, and it is also it's just well written. It's from Ephemeral. I loved your transition from low life hotel manager, especially having worked in hotels in the 90s, both myself and SO, which I think is significant other, to the transition from that to sandworm killing, god destroying, smoking cowboy with your fang tooth wielding along with your badass pistol shooting lady along the way.
Bonnie and Clyde up in here.
That's right.
What are some of the things that stood out most to you during your very transformative adventure?
Wow. Well, I think it was that. I think it was Jude really coming and opening himself up. Because I feel like, and I think it shows in the very beginning, coming to the party, that how really closed off Jude was, and it's like, I had the relationship with Abigail, but it was like strictly physical. There was like, I was like, not interested. And Ivan and I talked about this. You know, it's like, well, what is our relationship? It's like,
one of the backstories never came out on Jude's character too.
Yeah.
Just to, I hope you don't mind me throwing you under the bus here a little bit too.
Not at all.
But he had a girlfriend.
Oh no, Jude.
Yeah, he was.
Exactly.
He was.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my God!
I thought you knew.
Yeah.
Jude,
This
Jude,
is the right
Jude.
time.
Oh my
Let me
God.
just say-
But he also hated the relationship.
Yes. She had nothing on. She had nothing on you, baby. Nothing on you.
Thanks.
Oh man,
Yeah.
you dog.
So-
you dirty dog.
Exactly. I was a very, very terrible person. But that's the thing is I think, you know, as the show went on and as I grew closer to them, and it was really, honestly, like Finley's death did so much, I think, for everyone.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was like, wait a second, you know, we just lost this amazing human, you know, because of this. And it's like, I have to sort of like redeem him and bring everybody together. And like, now someone's going to have to be that person, you know? And I think just connecting with Marisha's character and everything like that, I don't know, it just made Jude try to redeem himself and make himself a better man. And it was a lot of it had to do with her and Finley's death.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for spending your evening with us. That is our show. That is One Night Only Sagas of Sundry Madness. Madness, you guys are a madness.
Sorry.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's
You
fine.
sure?
It's on Twitter.
Yeah.
It's fine. Your car will be on fire. It will all happen. That's the internet again.
That's fine. Yeah. Madness.
Madness. And thank you so much to all of you who sent in questions and who are watching it live. You can definitely rewatch it. And if we didn't get to your questions, I'm so sorry, you saw the list. But feel free to tweet. We're still very actively involved. Everyone is. So you can use the hashtags Sagas of Sundry and hashtag Madness. And then for bonus, put in that @JoinTeamAlpha tag. You get so many characters now. Why wouldn't you? For those of you on Alpha, we do have, and I encourage you to check out Painters Guild Season 2 is up. It releases a new episode every Monday with the very charismatic and hilarious Will Friedle, where he really tries his hardest to paint minis and kind of does. You can tell him I said that. I'm Amy Vorpal. I've been your host. It's been my pleasure. And go off into the world, live your lives, but always know that there will be madness.
Apologize once again for interrupting your viewing entertainment. But something is coming. A world filled with horrors that will bore into your mind like a drill, twisting and twisting and twisting and twisting until your brain breaks and the whole is filled with nightmares until it consumes you. These are the Sagas of Sundry. I am Mr. Wren, and there will be